Yo, 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 yo. What up, peoples? What up, Ferret? What's going on, man? What it do, bro? Alright, man. Get your random modes in. We're starting off the day with the random mode. What a better way to start the day off, you know? Kick it off with some random mode action. Try to give out some free subs. You know what I'm saying? Hope everybody had a great weekend. I did. Had a lot of fun. Good news segments over the weekend, and fun gameplay, and just some good family time for me, man. So it was great. It was great. I hope everybody else had a great weekend, and let's kick off another week, man. We got more Pal World today, and more news, as we always do. So let's go ahead and jump into January 29th edition of Video Gaming News, baby. Let's go. Let's dive in here and see what we got. And I forgot to get a tab open for it, so let me do that real quick. Perfect. Let's go. There. Perfect. Now we're rocking. Now we're rocking, man. How you doing this morning, Ferret? What's up, dude? My dude. Oh, that's good. That's good. Slight headache, bro. That was me yesterday. I had a headache all day yesterday. It's finally gone. But that sucks. I hate to hear that, brother. I hope it gets better, dude. Me and you, baby, we know. Yeah. $11 video games releasing in February we shouldn't miss. Let's pull that up real quick. Let's see what we got there. Nintendo is going to build 10 million units of their new hardware coming out this year for their first wave. It's up. That's the talk. Let's pull that up. We've talked so many times about. Nope. Other than the fact of Nintendo, like a year ago, saying we're going to try to be better on that front. They haven't really said anything else, dude. No. Unfortunately. So, I don't know, man. I think expect the worst. You know what I mean? If we get anything better than the worst, then great. But you know how it is. Try exactly. That's why I'm expressing that sentiment, you know. It's always a daunting thing to you know, be approaching that kind of topic when it comes to Nintendo. Yeah. As we all know. Yeah. You don't expect much, really. We'll see what we get, but I don't expect much. We've talked about this so much, man. Why physical games are still important to certain people. Take out this me word here, whoever wrote this, and why physical games are still important to anybody. Could be anybody that still likes physical games. You know, it could be the, you know, DRM aspect being taken out of the equation, because quite often if it's a digital product you have to deal with a lot more DRM issues. It could be a collector's perspective on it, where the physical product means more quite often to a collector. Not that you can't still buy collector's editions, but quite often they don't come with a physical game anymore. And there's something about the nostalgia of getting a game with a collector's edition. There's also something to be said for, you know, getting a physical game for people that don't have internet connections really in the world. There's still places in the world that have very limited internet connectivity, and either limited or none at all. So being able to buy a physical game gives them the capability still to play games and not have to deal with the fully digital presence of video games. There's plenty of reasons why the physicality of games is still something that happens on the console world, and I would say has kept consoles on some kind of competitive level on a large front with PC still. PC is a bigger revenue area for businesses in gaming than console is by about $15 billion a year right now. But there's something to be said for what console does provide. People still like the physical aspect for certain reasons. And the plug and play aspect of console too. There are other reasons, but I think that this is one reason that consoles have still been able to provide something that PC doesn't anymore and hasn't for a long time, right? So, I don't know. There's pros and cons. But as we continue to move forward, it's inevitable that we move closer and closer to a fully digital realm of gaming. The physicality, the physical video game is going away, and it's a hard thing for people to get accustomed to. Not everybody is a big fan of it for a myriad of reasons, right? And like we just saw, speaking of this right here, the Microsoft job cuts, we know that a significant portion of those that were underneath Microsoft and Xbox were actually due to them laying off people that they felt like they didn't need to have employed anymore, because they're doing away with physical, the people that were in job placement for specifically helping to develop physical games. They're doing away with those divisions. So it's you know, it's just one of those things. We've talked about it a lot. It's going away. It's inevitably going to go away. It's just taken a lot longer on console than it has on the PC front, right? PlayStation could hold a State of Play event this week. It's claimed. You could spin this into, are video games becoming too short as well? It depends on the narrative you're trying to run here. It depends on the game you're focusing on. They're going to obviously be running into, like, talking about games like Baldur's Gate 3 or something like that. New games, new long games, right? Are video games becoming too long? Do we have less time to finish them? You could spin this narrative into something like, are video games becoming too pricey for the amount of time they're giving us? Like Spider-Man 2 being $70 for a 20-hour experience? You know, we talk about this kind of thing a lot. How much is your money worth per your video game experience that you're buying into? That's really what it comes down to. It's going to be a very relative kind of thing for each individual person. It's very subjective, right? Everybody's got a different kind of budget that they run when it comes to their entertainment and video games. People are going to feel different about the time they get versus what they're spending and what seems worth and what doesn't seem worth, things like that. But people should be taking a look at what that means for them, right? Visions of Mana could be coming to Game Pass. The next Metro title is a single-player VR game, it's claimed. Interesting. Sorry, Pokemon. Everybody's playing flipping Pal World right now. Nobody cares. Sorry. Hey yo, Ferret. A Final Fantasy VI remake would take twice as long as Final Fantasy VII. Hey yo. Dude, we've talked about Suicide Squad so much. This is a very, very, what seems to me... Oh, yeah, I know, dude. Yeah. I love Final Fantasy VI. Yeah, me too, brother. I love that game. That game is so good. So good. What up, Davey? What's going on, buddy? How you feeling, man? How's the injury going, dude? The recovery. Yeah, we'll take a look and see what they have to say about that. That doesn't mean that they're doing one, but dude, it'd be dope if they did. So the Suicide Squad thing, I mean, you know, TLDR, just be careful with this. I don't expect a lot out of this game. We've already seen reviews come out. Yo, can we actually, do they have any reviews out yet? No. It's releasing on February 2nd. I thought we might already have critic reviews. That sucks, Davey. I'm sorry, dude. Yeah, no critic reviews yet. But we will have very soon. I'm sure we've already seen sites that have reviewed this game. I think that you're in for a mediocre time here, really. Yeah, I know, dude. I'm sorry, man. I think you're in for a mediocre time with this game. I think that initially it'll probably be entertaining enough, but it'll dry up on you. This is probably a game that's going to get pretty repetitive, and we've already heard a lot of that out of reviews and that have come out of certain sites that got their hands on playtime early on the game. So obviously this is a game as a service. They're charging a AAA price tag for this, $70 for the base game. Then it's just riddled with Game Pass, you know, monetization in like Game Passes and microtransaction shops and you name it. And it, you know, it's just going to be a lot of the it seems like the cinematics are pretty well done. It can be kind of an entertaining comedic side to, obviously you want that from the Suicide Squad as that's what we've gotten from a lot of the cinematic side of it and everything too. But the gameplay apparently it does get stale. It's pretty repetitive. A lot of the questing you're doing is like, oh, protect this area from enemies. Oh, kill all these enemies. And you know, there's not a lot of variety to what you're doing. It ends up getting to just feeling like you're doing the same thing over and over and over, and that that's for a game like this, you know, you need stuff that's going to make it feel fresh quite often, and a lot of variety in there and everything, because eventually people are just going to be like, oh, well, here we go again, we're doing the same thing. So we'll see more what people are saying when it releases. I think it'll be a decent quality production, but such a heavy aim towards monetization is always worrying, as it leads quite often to a lack of content quality, I think, you know, and just seems more like there was too much of a dedication towards trying to produce something good enough to get people into the game to spend lots of money, rather than a true dedicated focus on fantastic quality content. We'll see, though. It's coming very quick. We got like, you know, what, roughly 5 days or so until it hits. So we'll see. Just be careful. I don't recommend people buy into this game. Early access, on release, just give it a couple of days and see what people are saying before you decide whether you want to spend that amount of money on something like this. All of their games, yeah, I think most of them will be there. Ferret. Yep. I do. Yeah, they've already kind of talked about that too. Nintendo's been fairly vocal about the fact their games are hitting $70. And we've talked about that to an extent too, right? About how for any of the developers, it feels even worse for Nintendo to do it, right? Because their games never go down in price. Yeah, their games never go down in price. Ever. You might get a sell here and there, but they never totally go down in price. It's insane. They just always stay at that price point. So for other platforms, it didn't feel good that the AAA price tag even went up, but at least we knew that eventually those games would reduce in price if you were willing to wait. And Nintendo's problem for us as consumers is that price tag sticks forever. That price tag never reduces. So, yeah, they've been very vocal about basically any of their first party games are going to be at a $70 price tag, right? Major games start to have sales. Yeah, I think that the thing is, like, major games start to have sales at weird times too, right? It's like, because there are specific times through the year where you can always count on there being some Nintendo sales, right? But if it's like a weird time that you wouldn't normally be expecting that to happen, and all of a sudden it's just like a bunch of like the previous, or the current, and you're expecting a new piece of hardware to come out, then yeah. Yeah, I know, Davey, right? Yeah, dude, I know. Hip hop anonymous. PS Plus games for February. Let's see if we can take a look at that. Funny enough, we did talk about the Switch sale that's going on, for the games and stuff, the eShop sale, yesterday. So if you didn't get a look at that, it is in our Discord. I'll just copy this too. There's a link in our Discord video gaming news section for what we covered yesterday, and you can take a look at that as well. That'll have some links in there for you, but I'm not going to cover it again today. We've already been there and done that. You wanna know something crazy, dude, that I never knew before? You remember Mike Tyson's Punch Out, Super Punch Out on Super Nintendo? I saw a video last night. Super Punch Out on Super Nintendo. I saw a video last night on YouTube, a quick little short, where a guy was showcasing that the game, and it was probably some kind of like testing mode or something that was implemented in the game in the first place, but it made it all the way to the cartridge, where on the startup of the game, you know, old games were really cool about this kind of stuff. There was a lot of crazy like button combinations or things like that would allow it. We would call them codes, right? Button codes or combinations and stuff you could put in and have crazy stuff happen that you know you didn't normally know about, right? Yeah, the old-fashioned cheat codes, right? Like Konami code stuff or whatever. Well, at the start of the I don't know what just made me think about this, but I saw it last night and I was like, that is pretty dope, dude. Super Punch Out on Super Nintendo. There was, if you had two controllers plugged in, right? On the second controller at the title screen, if you held like, I think it was like the right bumper button and X or Y, something like that. If you held that and pressed start on the main controller, it would actually go into a two-player screen. A two-player screen. And so the main player would play Joe, or whatever the guy's name was, right? The main character. The second player got to select from the actual boxers that were normally CPUs in the game. There you go. Nice, Ferret, dude. Yeah. And so you would get to play two-player. The main guy, you know, the first controller would be Joe, right? And the second player got to pick from all the other boxers in the game. and you're playing each other, dude, and two-player. I thought that was so dope, dude. That was so cool. I had no idea that was a thing in that game ever until yesterday. That was really sick. And it was probably just some kind of like, you know, functionality they put into the game while they were developing it to like test the characters and stuff like that, and as like a manually test their moves and stuff like that before the AI controlled them and everything. And then they left it in there as something that could be done after it came out. It was really, really cool. it was really neat to see it, man. Yeah, which I don't like to call it early access, Soup. We're talking about final beta testing, right? So Suicide Squad final beta testing is out. That's what you mean. Which, if you want to pay $30 extra for 3 days of being a final beta tester, yeah, there you go. Yeah, I didn't play much of it. I had a buddy that had the game, and I got to play a little bit of it whenever I was younger, but I didn't get to play much of it. But it was just, yeah, it's cool to see those kinds of things, right? It's really neat, dude. yeah, exactly, Soup. What's up, buddy? How you doing, man? Looks like there's a Warframe dev stream announced for the Dante Unbound update for March. Oh, bro, that is a banger of a game right there, Ferret. Oh, that game is so good, dude. Thinking on what to pre-order, of course. We're going to cover, like, the games coming out in February. We've got that up. So we'll talk about that. At least, like, 11 of the games coming out. Oh, you showed the Ryu Fireball secret? Nice, dude, yeah. That was a banger of a game, Jesus. I haven't played that one since I was really young either. Tekken 8 has doubled Street Fighter 6's physical launch. Impressive. Soup. Ooh. That's making me sick, Soup. Oh, God. Oh, Judas from, yeah, this game looks very BioShock. Teased to be re-revealed soon. Interesting. I've got this on my wish list on Steam. Why? It's feeding into this terrible thing that, you know, the gaming industry as a whole has gotten to this point where they've created these really, really terrible trends for gamers to buy into. Dude, paying that much money to play a game 3 days early is insane. It's insane. That's terrible. You literally are getting nothing out of playing a game 3 days earlier. That's so much money to pay to play a game 3 days early. That is you have no most of the time you're not going to get any kind of benefit by playing the game that 3 days early. That game, in my opinion, it shouldn't even be base game purchased for $70 with all the monetization in it. And then they're going to put it out there for $100 for 3 days of early access. This is the kind of monetization schemes and tactics that the industry has come up with that people keep buying into, and it's exacerbating an issue of what is happening to us as consumers in the industry, right? And until we quit feeding into it, and you know, the more that people buy into those kinds of schemes, the more companies go, yeah, this is good, let's keep doing this kind of crap to everybody that buys our products, right? So until we quit, it won't stop. And it's literally, it's terrible. It's terrible. That much more money for 3 days of early access, it's not doing anything for you. You know, you literally are just a final beta tester. It's all about people getting too hyped up about games to where they can't help but open their wallet. People need to learn how to be a little bit more chill about waiting on the experience. It's just, you don't even know how good the game is, you know what I mean? But that's what the industry does. The gameplay trailers look so cool. That's literally what the industry has done to us forever, ever, dude. Right? Bro, how many times can you go back and look at history and look at absolute balls-ass games that have come out that so many people bought into it because the trailers looked good? The hype was generated. This is look, if you don't understand that the development budget for AAA games is just as much, it's literally almost always split in half nowadays and has been for a while now. It's as much equally marketing as it is development budget, because they are trying to hype you up. And how do they hype you up? By showing you what they want you to see. Right? Whether they show you gameplay or not, obviously showing you gameplay is better than just cinematics. But even with gameplay, how many times has a game come out and showed you gameplay in a trailer where it didn't match up either content-wise with what they promised, or it didn't match up performance-wise with what it should have been, or both? And people feel baited all the time. So I'm not going to buy into that. The trailer looks so good. Of course it does. They do it on purpose. It's literally their job to get people hyped up off of trailers. It gets people to buy into the product before anybody even knows if it's a good product or not. It's terrible. People have to quit buying into this notion that a game's going to be badass because the company making this product baited you into believing that it was going to be good just based off of the trailer they also created. It's terrible. Are there also, on the flip side of that coin, games that come out that do meet the expectations of what, people expect based off of the trailers? Absolutely. But there have been plenty of times where it doesn't meet the expectations either. And that's their job. They don't care. All they care about is that people are buying the game. Marketing did their job, like Ferret said. Exactly. So, I mean, this is the problem with the industry in a large capacity. One moment. I mean, all I can do is advise people on these notions. If you've got the money and it's, just too much for you to handle the hype and then by all means, I mean, do your thing. But this is something that's been going on for a long time. It is a tried and true situation that we've been dealing with as consumers of video games in this industry for such a very long time. And it's just something that people have to be careful about, because I've been jaded by it. Everybody else has been baited and jaded by this situation as well. And you just can't place all of your expectations on what a game's going to be by what they're showing you before it even releases. That's why I tell people all the time, that if a company has shown you trends of not doing great things, either content-wise or performance-wise, or there's reasons through the development process, the project development, that we've seen that raise some red flags or whatever, that you should be hesitant. You should take the time. Let the game release for 2 or 3 days. It's not gonna, you know what I mean? There's literally no reason not to. And honestly, on the back end, it probably save you a little bit of heartbreak. Yeah, buyer's regret. Perfect way to explain it, dude. Buyer's regret. That's what I try to save people some guff from, dude. There's just, again, I'm definitely a proponent of supporting great companies. The companies that have shown throughout the history of their products, especially, for me, the thing I look at is recent history, right? Recent history of a gaming developer is crucial for me. What have they shown you they can do content-wise and performance-wise? If they've shown you they can do great things, then, trust them. Trust them. If you're hyped up about something that they're releasing and they've shown you they've done good in the past, go for it. But if there are things that raise cause for concern, a bad trending history, things that we've seen through the production process of a game that raises some concerns and flags, just wait till the game comes out. Don't buy into the hype they're trying to, get you to buy into. Don't do it, man. Ferret nailed it, man. Exactly, Ferret. Yeah. But it's turned into something totally different nowadays. Totally different. Yeah. Yep. So look, I mean, all I can do is, and this is the thing, trying to save people some heartbreak on this front and keep people from getting so jaded by the industry as most of us have been, by being a little bit smarter about the way that you approach the industry, that we all approach the industry nowadays, because it has changed, like Ferret's talking about, though. It has changed. A lot of the ways that they promote and, they push out these products and things like that. It's changed from the way that it used to be. It's evolved a little bit. And as somebody who has been a gaming enthusiast and consumer since I was a little bitty kid, I've watched this happen, and I've been a victim of this many times, as most of us have been. So if I can try and help educate current day consumers on ways in which they might be able to protect themselves from some of the more scummy things that happen in the industry, of the companies and what they do with so much marketing hype and things like that. And some of these products don't deserve to be bought into on this front because you just don't know, right? And I'll tell you this, I would say about 8 out of 10 times whenever I come across, because we do this in the news every day, right? We do this in the news every day. We look at these high-profile games that are being built up, that are being developed and stuff, and we talk about them every single day. We follow them through their development process, right? 8 to 9 out of 10 times, somewhere between there, that we come across games that deserve to have some reservations about. I can give you an example of a game that I was like, we should probably be careful about this one. What was the BioShock-esque kind of game? The Atom game that came out. And what was the name of that one? That's one of the more recent ones that I can tell you. I was like, we should probably be careful about this one. But it came out and everybody was like, it's pretty dang good, What was the name of that one? And I'll admit when I'm wrong about this kind of stuff too. What is the name of it? It's not Adam. You guys know what I'm talking about, bro. Help me. I haven't had enough coffee, dude. It had some delays. It had reasons to be kind of skeptical about it. Let's see if I can pull it up. Atomic Heart. Adam, it was in there. Atomic Heart. This is one of the more recent games that I had kind of been very vocal about. Atomic Heart. It had some delays. It had some other things going on that were worth being kind of hesitant about, but this game came out and it content-wise was pretty solid from what we understand. I didn't play it. Content-wise, it was pretty solid, and performance-wise, it was pretty good. And I had to just kind of eat my words a little bit and be like, this is one of those ones that kind of didn't end up panning out the way I expected it to. I'm glad that it was good. Don't get me wrong. I always want games to be good. But usually whenever I see key indicators that make a game worth being a bit hesitant about, 8 to 9 out of 10 times, it's worth waiting on. They don't meet expectations most of the time, either on content or performance. It happens quite often. But I will admit whenever I'm wrong too. And Atomic Heart was one of the more recent ones that happened to me. This was at the beginning of last year. So I'm not saying it won't happen. But I have gotten pretty good at being able to follow a lot of these more high-profile games and pick out certain things where it leads me to believe that they're not going to be fantastic on release, and that people should probably take a few days to see what the reviews are like before you buy into the product. Again, for me, all of this is about trying to promote a healthier industry all the way around. And a big part of that starts with us. We're the ones that feed this industry, right? As consumers, we feed this industry. So if we want things to change for the better about the way that these businesses approach us with their products and everything, it starts with us, So if that's, I know it's kind of a daunting premise to look at, because it would take a lot of us changing the way that we approaching the products we buy and things like that. And not everybody's on the same page, but it's got to start somewhere, right? And I think that there is a kind of mindset change happening, not just because of me or anything. I think across the board, people are becoming more aware about what has happened in this industry over time, in the way that these companies have kind of seduced us, if you will, into buying products that are really subpar, you know? So all I can do is educate, right? Educate, take what you will from what I know and have, try to throw out there as far as information. People either have to, decide whether to take that or leave it, but that's literally all I can do. But I am pretty good at finding those games that I think are worth people waiting a few days to buy into. Again, you're not missing out on anything. Literally. What's a few days? What is it that you're missing out on so much by not being in that game for a few days between the release and maybe waiting to see what reviews say? What is it? What is it that you're missing out on so much? That's what kills me, is if there is a game worth waiting on, they're like, yeah, but I won't be able to play it on release. What are you missing though? There's not normally anything that anybody can tell me that they're missing out on. They just don't want to not be there and play the game the same day it releases. That's not good enough to me, really. And that's what the companies are hoping for, right? That's literally what they want out of you. They want you to feel that way. We'll get back in it. The breeding guide. Dude, we got to start doing some breeding in this Pal World playthrough. Judas. We'll take a look at that. I've got it on my wish list already, but very Bioshock-esque game coming our way. Yeah, Nintendo confirming their shutdown of the 3DS and Wii U online services. Feels bad. This will be happening on April 8th, just so everybody knows. Now, let me address this. I will keep promoting this. Nintendo sucks on this front. They have for a very long time. They are not good about continuing to provide these kinds of services to their fans. And people that still play their former consoles and stuff like that. But there is this kind of stuff that is happening because, fortunately, the gaming community is full of amazing people that do the gaming god's work, if you will. And we got the Pretendo network being set up. If you have not heard about this, game servers recreated, okay? So they've got links to the Discord server, stuff like that. You can read more right here. About Us. Pretendo is an open source project that aims to recreate a Nintendo network for the 3DS and Wii U using clean room reverse engineering. As our services would be both free and open source, they can exist long after the inevitable closure of Nintendo's networks. You can see their progress in real time about everything they're getting set back up for the games and like integrations and stuff like Friends stuff for the Wii U, stuff like that they are getting set back up for this these services and everything, okay? And they've got a whole like frequently asked questions section, all this kind of stuff. So highly recommend, if you're interested, you're still playing a 3DS or a Wii U, you can look into the Pretendo network and see what they're doing to still provide services that Nintendo doesn't care about anymore, all right? Speed Crew? What is Speed Crew? An ancient weapon, Holly. Interesting. All other modern games suck besides Pal World. Yeah, dude. Metroid Prime 4 leaks point to imminent reveal. Wait, what? They're just talking about both these games. I think these games are going to have a little bit of overlap in them. Here, I'll show you real quick. Infinifactory. Yeah, it does look like they overlap a little bit. Or no, it doesn't look like they do. But Infinifactory is free right now on Epic. Doors Paradox will be free starting the 1st, so just grab your free games while you can. No point in not grabbing free software, man. Speed Crew, yep, we got that one. Oh, new Dragon Ball Sparking Zero trailer revealed during Battle Hour event. Let's go one more page. We got a lot of stuff to cover this morning. GTA 6 map reportedly leaked by Rockstar employee. See what we can get in there. Soup will love that. That's that soup copium right there. We saw this yesterday. We talked about this yesterday as well. All right, let's go. Let's dive in here, man. These will be our articles for today's video gaming news segment, all right? New Dragon Ball Sparking Zero trailer revealed during Battle Hour event. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero finally made another appearance this week at the Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour event, show off more of the next fighting game in the series. This reveal has been a long-awaited one, following the announcement of the game back in March before it ever had a name, and people were just calling it a new Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi game, but barely anything has been said about the game since then, other than it getting a name and one trailer. That thankfully changed today during the Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour event. You can check out the new trailer for the game below, courtesy of publisher Bandai Namco and the game's developer Spike Chunsoft. Let's go, dude. Vegeta, best boy. Vegeta, best boy, let's go.
My name is Goku and Earth is my home.
I'm still far superior to you.
All right, let's go.
Let our battle commence. Now to show you the overwhelming power of a super elite Saiyan.
And Kaioken.
Burst open and mix!
This is why the Saiyans are feared as conquerors of countless planets.
You lose!
I'm angry.
By my hatred, the Super Saiyan within me erupted to life!
Let's see if you can keep up.
Sorry, it's a little bit loud, my bad. I was just
Let me
immersed.
show you. I don't
was
care how strong you think you are. I
was
am
loving
going
it.
to win.
If that's what you want, then I'm not gonna waste any time.
I'm quite eager to see how you've been training in the afterlife.
This is what I call Super Saiyan 3.
You had better be ready to kill me.
For you to go this, you must have wanted
I
to
love the
settle
Blanca
score
hair
real
they
badly,
get when they
huh,
go all
Vegeta?
like like Super Saiyan 3. They get the Blanca hair.
I
Dude, it's cool
will
looking.
defeat you this day.
So this is a Super Saiyan God's power.
Tired? Too bad.
I'm looking for what's beyond strength.
There's no limit to the strength of the Saiyans.
Breakthrough? The limit!
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Right. Yeah. 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 I think you're right, dude. Yeah. The hair's so dope though. It's like all like thrown back and long and like kind of still spiky and stuff. I love it. It's so cool looking. It's so cool. So Dragon Ball FighterZ games make up the majority of the series' video game offerings. You won't find a more true to form game to fit that bill than Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. The Budokai Tenkaichi games from years and years ago are the ones many people grew up and are the ones that defined the Dragon Ball fighting game experience. Since that series was called Sparking in Japan when those games were made, Dragon Ball fans are essentially correct in referring to this game as Budokai Tenkaichi 4. As shown, my son is going to be so stoked about this, by the way. As shown in the first trailer and the newer one shared this week, the game's got fighters from all across various Dragon Ball shows and movies in the series, including the most recent Dragon Ball Super releases. Confirmed fighters in the roster so far include characters like Goku, Vegeta, Broly, Piccolo, Krillin, Gohan, Android 18, Majin Buu, Jiren, Android 17, Trunks, Cell, and Bergamo. If you've been around any Dragon Ball game over the years, you'll know that Bandai Namco and Spike Chunsoft undoubtedly have plans to support this game for quite a while, with new DLCs incorporating nearly every possible iteration of a Dragon Ball character throughout the years. After all, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, a game that came out back in 2016, is still getting new content this year. Yeah. Cool. Word. Oh, yeah. See, I haven't kept up with a lot of it, dude. I haven't kept up with a lot of my son. I'm guaranteeing my son knows more about the, like, lore and everything of the game than I do. I was big into Dragon Ball back in, like, the Dragon Ball Z days. I started, like, I watched a little bit of, like, after I got into Dragon Ball Z back in the day, I went back and watched a little bit of just original Dragon Ball, and then I kind of fell out of it after that. And so, but my son, dude, my son loves Dragon Ball, and a lot of what he knows lore-wise is because of the games, actually. He hasn't watched a ton of it, but he knows a ton of the lore just because of the games, because a lot of the games stay pretty true to the story and everything, right? He loves the flipping games, man. He tears them up all the time, man. He'll play them over and over, man. No, I don't know that story. No. Oh man, did I? No, this was the first one, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's see this. So, sir, please get off my screen, sir. What? We're not gonna be able to read this if I can't get rid of this flipping. All right, let's see this. GTA 6 map reportedly leaked by Rockstar Games employee. Rockstar Games employee has reportedly leaked the GTA 6 map on an image board website. It suggests that GTA 6 could have 3 distinct islands, the largest of which is reported to be the state of Leonida, or as it is more popularly known, Vice City. GTA 6 has been shattering records, yeah, blah, blah, blah. In an X post, user at S1Nick shared a snapshot of a video game map. Alongside the image, the user wrote, "A Rockstar employee on 4chan just leaked this. He says it's the GTA 6 map. Don't know if this is true, but it seems very legit." It goes against the other renders created by the GTA 6 community, which feature one single island. Instead, this new GTA 6 map features 3 distinct islands, the largest of which is reported to be the state of Leonida, or as it is more popularly known, Vice City. So there you go. Oh, gotcha, dude. Gotcha. Right on. Yeah, good to know. A Rockstar employee on 4chan just leaked this. This is the potential top-down map of the islands for GTA 6. So there you go. Oh, wait. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see if this, you know, holds any real context to it when the game comes out, but we'll see. What are we like now? 10 years before GTA 6? Yeah, something like that, dude. That's why I keep trolling Soup. Soup's like, only one more year, and I'm like, nah, dude. 2030, you know. 2030, bro. He's like, no, don't do that to me, man. Metroid Prime 4 leaks point to imminent reveal. So this has been a game that's been in development for some time, and people are pretty, you know, hyped about this. There have been a few things that have come out here recently that have been kind of pointing to this coming our way. So let's see what this is now. Been a long time coming, but it looks like Nintendo might finally be preparing to show off Metroid Prime 4 once again. Initially revealed all the way back at E3 in 2017, Nintendo made this shocking announcement in January of 2019 that was completely rebooting the development of the latest Metroid Prime installment. Since that announcement, Nintendo hasn't said a word about MP4 other than continuing to periodically confirm that the project was still in the works at developer Retro Studios. Now, after 5 years with no news, it seems like it might finally be time for Metroid Prime 4 to be thrust into the spotlight. Based on recent discoveries by Super Metal Dave 64 on YouTube, it seems that Nintendo is in the final phase of the development on Metroid Prime 4. One of these beliefs stems from the resume of a contractor that was said to be testing demo versions of Metroid Prime 4 within the past year. While this on its own, wouldn't be enough to point to a nearing release, it also was also shown that Retro Studios has recently partnered with studio Next Gen Dreams 3D. This partnership is notable because Next Gen Dreams 3D has worked in the past on a number of trailers for major games from various publishers. Assuming that the company is developing a trailer of some sort for Metroid Prime 4, it would suggest that Nintendo is planning for a first reveal on the project over the past nearly 7 years. February would be a window to keep an eye on. Reason for this belief is because on an annual basis, Nintendo holds its first direct presentation of the year in February pretty regularly. As such, if Metroid Prime 4 were to be highlighted in any capacity soon, it would almost certainly come at about a Nintendo Direct. Yeah, especially since there are no more major gaming events on the calendar in the coming months. Yeah, we kind of lull out here for a bit. You know, it's like all the Game Awards stuff happens like kind of at the end of the year. Then we get a little bit of some stuff right at the beginning of the year, like, you know, Xbox they just had their developer direct. Usually we get like a Nintendo and a Sony one as well. Oh, excuse me. Like a PlayStation one, and then everything kind of lulls out for a while. There might be a few things here and there, but then it starts ramping back up around June, right? June's when it just goes crazy, dude. June, tons of showcases, and that's when, you know, It's just nonstop showcases, and then the following few months into the fall time is when we just start getting release after release after release after release. Man, it's crazy. Yeah, hard to know when we might get Metroid Prime 4 official news, but we'll keep an eye on it. Speed Crew release date, gameplay story, and trailers. An entirely different race overruns the motor track pit stop. Speed Crew. Speed Crew introduces a brand new type of adrenaline-fueled madness as it releases on new platforms. One moment, sorry. This January. Here's everything you need to know about Speed Crew, including its release date, gameplay story, and trailers. Let's watch this real quick. Yes, it will, Ferret. Why can't we have a Ganondorf game, huh? Why is everybody so against that? Because we'll actually get the truth. Everybody's so afraid of the truth, huh? That Link's actually the bad guy. Nobody wants to actually, you know, hear the truth about what's going on in that universe. What the crap is this? Out on the Switch since June 6th, Speed Crew now arrives on January 31st on PC through Steam, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X. Game was developed and self-published by Wild Fields. Speed Crew is a couch action party game that pits mechanics against each other in a race off the race tracks. With trusty tools in hand, players will have to outmaneuver and outwit their opponents as each one of up to 4 players tries to fix their vehicles as fast as possible. From unsanctioned drag racing to high-stakes professional racing, the pit stop crew is essential to the success of their drivers. And in Speed Crew, you are behind the wheel, so to speak, of the support team at the pit stop. Replace tires, refuel cars, and repair parts for all kinds of vehicles, competing in different kinds of races, ranging from drag races to rallies. Play through the game's classic campaign mode and beat your mechanic family's longtime rivals from other garages, either in solo mode or with up to 3 other friends in cross-play co-op. Coordinate with your teammates, find out what needs to be done after diagnosing the car, plan and fix broken parts, get them back on track. Each new event will unveil new challenges and obstacles for you and your friends to overcome, including rain and lightning strikes, conveyor belts and canals full of floating boxes, resulting in chaotic pit stops that you'll have to work around at every turn. Complete new events to unlock new characters, costumes, and higher sponsorship levels. New to this release and also coming to the Nintendo Switch is the new Dominion mode. The brand new game mode uses tools and power-ups to disrupt the flow of car repairs by stunning players, disabling equipment, rigging the track, and other methods to introduce even more chaos into the pit stop. Just be ready to defend yourself, as mechanics are likely to fight back as they try to get their work back on track. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. I'll link it. There you go. If you're interested. Dungeon Crawler Ancient Weapon Holly gets March release date and new trailer. Let's see what this is. Not a real in-depth look there, was it? Aniplex released the new trailer for the acquired developed action strategy game Ancient Weapon Holly, coming to PlayStation 4 and 5, Switch, and PC via Steam on March 8th. of this year. To celebrate, the publisher released a short trailer highlighting gameplay and the characters. Definitely looks like a challenging strategy action game awaiting players in this adventure. Currently, there's a demo available on Steam as well that can be found at this link. Ancient weapon Holly unfolds in a world where humanity, amidst the throes of a cataclysmic war, forges an autonomous weapon named Holly, a seemingly innocent figure with the devastating power to obliterate civilizations. Feared for her formidable ability, she is sealed away deep within the earth. After millennia, Holly awakens not with a sense of liberation, but with an unyielding resentment towards humanity. Despite her degraded functions, her resolve to enact vengeance remains unshaken, setting the stage for a narrative of retribution. In this intense roguelike action game, players navigate through dungeons, strategically luring enemies into traps and leveraging the environment to take to their advantage. The gameplay emphasizes quick reflexes and strategic planning, with the thrill of combat intensified by the necessity of outmaneuvering formidable adversaries. Players can evolve Holly's capabilities and unlock new alter functions, enriching the strategic depth of the game. As players progress, they gather enhancement items to evolve Holly and expand the altar's functions, enabling a tailored approach to gameplay and strategy. The thrill of the game lies not just in the combat, but in the strategic entrapment and defeat of enemies, offering a unique and exhilarating gaming experience. Interesting. Okay. I'll link this too if you're interested. There you go. PlayStation Plus. Let's get this up here. There we go. PlayStation Plus free games for February. Predictions, rumors, leaks, release dates, and more. What do we got here? We don't need that. Sony reveals the following month's games on the last Wednesday of the month, though this isn't always the case. Actual rule of thumb is that the new lineup always releases on the first Tuesday of the month, and the games were revealed the previous Wednesday. It means we should get an official announcement on Wednesday the 31st. With the games rolling out on Tuesday the 6th. You'll still be able to access January's games, A Plague Tale Requiem, Evil West, and Nobody Saves the World until that Tuesday. It's a really strong lineup, so don't forget to claim those titles. So, that's about what we got here. Just know that we'll keep track, and very soon we should find out what the new games are for PS Plus, okay? First Warframe dev stream of 2024 announces Dante Unbound update for March. Warframe is a banger of a game. It's got 10 years under its belt now. They are coming out with a new game. Why can't I remember the name of the Digital Extremes? Yeah, Digital Extremes. They have a new game in development called Soulframe, and we've watched the trailer a number of times. It looks very good. It's not out yet, but we are paying attention to the development process here. It's supposed to be another free-to-play game. And I mean, Warframe is a game that you have to look at as one of the greatest examples of a developer producing and publishing a free-to-play game over the last decade. It is fantastic. This game provides an immense amount of gameplay fun in a free-to-play product. It's got a incredibly fleshed out system of combat to go along with a great story. There's a lot of what is given to the game player as far as being able to give you uniqueness in the RPG aspect of what you're able to do in the game for your own character, your ships, the amount of stuff that you can customize to just fit your own personality, the warframes that you get, the way that you can customize the warframes, whether it be in their abilities, their or even just visually. You know, it's a very, very well developed game. It is fantastic. It's a game that can take a lot of time. It's definitely one of those games where if you want to be in Warframe and actually dedicated to this game in any form or fashion, you're going to be spending a lot of time in this game. It's built to be that way, but it's definitely a game that it has a great economy behind it. It's built in a fashion that you can grind anything in this game as a free-to-play player. But as I talk about a lot, if you're playing this game and you're getting a substantial amount of entertainment out of it, this developer absolutely deserves for players to be considering giving them a little bit of monetary compensation for what this software is occasionally. But it's developed in such a great way that it allows players, even on a free-to-play front, to be able to grind the things that you can pay for in the game as well. And it's got a great economy. Like I said, you can trade things in the game with other players and things like that. It's very, very good. And I'm really excited to see what comes from Soulframe as well. So I will continue to promote Warframe and the developer and what Soulframe's going to be and everything like that, because I think they absolutely deserve it. If you've never played Warframe, it's a very futuristic sci-fi like third person. It's a very fast-paced game. It's a shooter. It's got shooting and melee in it as well. It's a very, very cool game. It really is. Digital Extremes revealed the first Warframe update of the year, titled Dante Unbound, as part of the team's latest dev stream. This update welcomes the 56th Warframe into the fold, more quality of life improvements, and a new wave of Tenno-Gen collaborative cosmetics, all arriving in March for current platforms. Cross-platform save also already has more than 250,000 players utilizing the highly requested feature. Highlights from the stream included: the first new Warframe of 2024 reveals himself Dante, the Master of Reality's pages. Warframe 56 is styled around classic MMO caster classes, accompanied by his own new exalted weapon named Noctua. This new Dante-bound grimoire obliterates enemies by pelting them with spectral pages, covering them in countless cursed paper cuts. Warframe Inaros, the Living Sandstorm, will receive a long-awaited rework in March 2, alongside this update, with more details to come soon. Tenno-Gen also makes a highly anticipated return in this update, adding freshly approved submissions from last year. This collaborative creation program connects community artists with Digital Extremes developers to bring new purchasable cosmetic items into Warframe and share revenue with the corresponding artists. This is something they've been doing for a long time. It's really, really cool. So you get these artists that are allowed to, or I think it's like kind of a competition, if I remember, where artists are competing for doing variations of cosmetics to be integrated into the game for different kinds of Warframes and stuff like that. And the ones that get chosen as the winners actually get implemented into the game, and the artists receive part of all the profits from what is purchased for those cosmetics. It's pretty neat. And there have been some really, really good ones there have. For more information on the positive impact Tenno-Gen has had on Warframe-inspired creatives over the years, reach out to the PR contacts below. Digital Extremes' official Tenno-Gen style guide has also been updated. Looking ahead, Tenno-Gen is now accepting submissions for the iconic Entrati style featured in the recently released Whispers in the Walls, as well as original takes on the Dagath and Corvex Warframes. Submissions can take the form of any and all types of cosmetics, including Warframe skins, weapon skins, operator accessories, landing craft skins, among others. New dev-made cosmetics are also on the way, like the Warframe Styanax's deluxe skin, teased with concept art during the stream. Finally, reception for the Gauss Prime launch trailer was so positive the team has made its original music track, Gauss Redline, that was used in the cinematic jaunt, free for all to stream on YouTube and Bandcamp today. All the patch notes can be found at this link as well. Again, Digital Extremes, I think, is a fantastic developer. This game, if you've not played this game, Warframe, I'll just give you the Steam link. Give me 1 second. Warframe's fantastic. I played this game when it first released, right around first release roughly a decade ago, and it was a lot of fun. And then we played it last year again. I hadn't played it in probably 8 or 9 years, and we jumped back in last year to see it. It's evolved greatly, but it's still fantastic. They've continued to, just pump more content into the game, and it's a lot of fun. There's a lot to do. It's a very, very cool game, man. Warframe. Very, very good. 87% positive, over 560,000 reviews. It's a very, very cool game. Highly recommend checking it out. I'll link that to you guys, as well as the article. There you go. Judas, game from BioShock creator, seemingly teased to be re-revealed soon. A new reveal associated with Judas, the next game from BioShock creator Ken Levine, seems to be coming quite soon. Back at the Game Awards in 2022, Judas was first shown off by developer Ghost Story Games with its debut trailer. The surprising teaser didn't provide many details, which left plenty of fans with questions throughout 2023. While Ghost Story has been laying low for well over a year, seems like additional information on the project might be coming as soon as this week. Over on social media, insider Nick Baker seemed to tease that Judas will be in the spotlight again soon. Baker mentioned Judas specifically amidst a larger number of teases that seemed to point to new showings for Silent Hill 2, Death Stranding 2, Rise of the Ronin, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth as well. As for the manner in which the reveal would come about, Baker didn't provide any specifics, but it's likely this showing would happen at the PlayStation State of Play event, given that some of the games teased here are set to be exclusive to PS5. Let's go ahead and grab that, and we'll read that next. It'll be a good segue. Yeah, on the 31st, roughly. So we're going to talk about that next. PlayStation could hold a State of Play event, right? A disintegrating starship, a desperate escape plan, says the official plot synopsis, Judas. You are the mysterious and troubled Judas. Your only hope for survival is to make or break alliances with your worst enemies. Will you work together to fix what you broke, or will you leave it to burn? Still very little we know about Judas overall. Shares a lot of DNA BioShock if you've seen the trailer. Yep, it absolutely does. At least in terms of the art direction, right? No types of official info yet on release date. Is planned for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Check it out. Judas. I'll just show you the trailer real quick.
The ship is dying. And my only way out of here is with one of them. People say I have this coming. And you know what? They're right.
Yep. So we've known about this for quite some time, but there's been very little on the front of it for quite some time too. So if you want the Steam link, there you go. And segueing into this appropriately, PlayStation could hold a state of play event this week. It's claimed. Multiple sources claim a live stream is taking place soon. According to multiple sources led by Xbox Era's Nick Baker, who suggests this week that a live stream could take place roughly on January 31st and feature Death Stranding 2, Silent Hill 2, and other games like Judas that we just talked about. Eurogamer also claims to have heard a state of play is taking place soon, and prolific leaker Bill Kuhn claimed last week that we'll soon see more of Death Stranding 2, and today claimed the same about its new space IP Concord. Baker also claimed that BioShock creator Ken Levine will premiere the next look at his original IP Judas, like we just talked about. And that there will also be new looks at a Sonic title and Until Dawn remaster. We already talked about this. Sony is planning on reportedly bringing Until Dawn to PS5 and PC. Yeah. So I hope it's not on the 31st, because that's Wednesday and that's our day off. You know, I would like to watch it live if we could, but if that's the way this plays out, then we'll cover everything from the state of play, and we might just watch it, the VOD of it or whatever, whenever we get back on Thursday. It happens like that sometimes, but we'll see what happens. Either we'll watch it live together whenever we find out. We'll probably find out over the next couple of days whenever the state of play event for PlayStation is going to happen. And either we'll be able to watch it live together, or if it is happening on Wednesday, we'll just recap it whenever we get back on Thursday from the day off, okay? And Nintendo, hold on. Yeah. So we did also hear that Nintendo's probably got their own Nintendo Direct showcase popping off at the beginning of February, so we'll be ready for that as well. But Nintendo will apparently be building a roughly 10 million... They're calling it Switch 2. That's probably what it'll be called, but we don't know in any official capacity yet. Whatever Nintendo's next hardware is going to be called, it looks like they're apparently trying to produce about 10 million units for the initial wave of sales, yeah? Yeah, exactly, dude. It was recently claimed in a report published by Bloomberg citing Omdia data that the Switch 2, quote-unquote Switch 2, that's not the official name yet, console will be released later in 2024 with an 8-inch LCD screen and not an OLED display. Oof, really? Really? I hadn't heard that yet. This caused ripples in the gaming community as many Nintendo fans cried out against the step back in technology. Yeah. I mean, we all know that, like, the Switch even came out with an OLED version, right? We've even seen, like, even recently, the Steam Deck has upgraded their entire lineup to include OLED displays, right? And the reason this is important, too much of a power drain? OLED displays are actually more power efficient than LCD screens are, dude. Yeah. Obviously, I mean, if you're talking about, you've got to take into consideration different kinds of resolutions, different frame rates and stuff. So if you were talking about something like an LCD screen that was at a lower resolution and a lower frame rate than an OLED display at a higher resolution and a higher frame rate and stuff, then you're probably talking about more of a power, consumption on the OLED. Maybe. It just depends. And, but OLED across the board is a much more energy efficient display type, right, than LCD is, which is, again, why Steam Deck has switched over. It's better for mobile devices because it's better on the battery, right? Especially gaming devices. Gaming devices, you know, we're seeing battery size increase. A lot of the devices that were coming out were like 35 to 40 watt an hour batteries, and now they're hitting 50s because those batteries weren't big enough. The screens are getting changed over from LCD screens to OLED screens because the OLED screens are more power efficient. They're not as power hungry, and they look better too quite often. So it's like, it's a win-win, right? And the reason that originally OLED screens weren't implemented is because it's the same thing as, like, you know, it's just technological evolution, right? It's whenever technology becomes first available, it's expensive, it's not as easily implemented because the price point's too high. But OLED is becoming more readily available, it's more consumer friendly, especially from a production standpoint. So it's easier for a lot of these manufacturers to grab, you know, contracts to be able to grab these displays in mass quantity and put them into their devices over LCDs, where that didn't used to be the case, right? So this is a weird play. If this is the case, this is a weird play, because we've seen Nintendo from the implementation and release of the Switch initially. They've had different versions come out, right? We've had the Switch Lite, and we've got the OLED Switch as well, correct? So the OLED Switch, I mean, everybody, I think, just expected that, like, the new hardware coming out would be OLED display, right? But apparently maybe not. Now, this isn't official either. There's very little official in the front of the new hardware from Nintendo at all. A lot of this is speculation, so we have to take a lot of this with a grain of salt, because this is just a bunch of information that is kind of like water cooler talk, if you will. You know, it's break room talk. We're not getting anything official from Nintendo. So we'll have to see exactly what happens when we get official word on some of this. But if this is the case, this is weird, and I don't know why. Now, more information has surfaced from the same source suggesting that Nintendo has plans to manufacture a whopping 10 million Switch 2 units in the financial year starting in April of 2024. This would hopefully avoid the initial rush of consumers looking to snag a Switch 2 device in stores worldwide, circumventing the stock issues that tend to plague new console releases. An ambitious number. Nintendo is primed for a monumental launch period, according to sources close to the manufacturing centers across Asia. It was recently suggested that Nintendo Switch 2, even if that's what it'll be called, will retail for around $400 when it's released later in 2024. Yeah, we've known that for a while now. They were trying to hit that $400 price point. Some of the analysts have claimed that the step down in technology is part of an effort to keep the cost lower for the first wave. In typical hardware tradition, it's likely an OLED version of the Switch 2 will be released at a later date. There are high hopes this massive first wave will be able to satiate the appetites of gamers the world over, with 10 million units being manufactured before the Switch 2 hits the shelves of stores and online retailers everywhere. Not yet known what the Switch 2 will look like. The hardware inside it hasn't been confirmed, and there are no early impressions of the games that will launch on the device, but fans are still understandably excited. Yeah. I think that 10 million is going to go pretty quick still. I think it'll still go pretty quick. It's... I think that it wouldn't be surprising to see this happen too, though. For them to release the LCD version first and then be like, "Oh well, now we've got the OLED," you know. We know how this works, dude. Even though, absolutely, dude, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I'm absolutely the same way. Again, I mean, I quit buying into the console world a long time ago. We will have a new Nintendo console. It's inevitable. My kids do like Nintendo too much. You know, that's the thing that keeps me into the console world at all, is the kids love Nintendo, you know. And so for me, that's something that continues to be a play for us. As well as, you know, there are a lot of there's great software on the Nintendo's platform that you can't really play on PC. Virtually anything that comes out on PlayStation or Xbox will eventually come to PC, so it's not as big of a worry for me anymore, you know. I don't know. Nintendo is, as much as I hate some of the things they do, it's a harder thing to not buy into for a couple of reasons for me, you know. Yeah, exactly, dude. That's the exact same sentiment I was just expressing. Yep. Exactly, dude. So, but yeah, I won't be rushing into it either. Yeah. I've been, you know, I've gotten to where I'm just mainly PC anymore, anyways, and you know, there'll come a time where I'll buy into the new Nintendo hardware. But it'll probably be, especially if it comes out and it doesn't have like OLED or anything, dude, I know that they'll come out with an upgraded version of it not too long afterwards. And that's probably where I'll buy into it at, something like that, you know? Yeah. And, you know, it never fails. Like, it needs a little bit of bake-in and time and stuff too. Most of these devices, when they first release, they need a little bit of bake-in time. There's always a little bit of wonkiness when they first come out and stuff. So giving a little bit of bake-in time, something that I tend to do, just kind of watch them burn a little bit, you know, before I decide to, you know, let them get stable before I get in there and make sure everything's solid and working well. What are you talking about, Soup? Nice, dude. Yo, that's great. We'll talk about that. Nice, dude. Bro. Yo, we'll just go ahead and hit it. Yo, thanks, dude. Rocksteady was forced to pull Suicide Squad servers offline an hour into its early access release. After players experienced a bug which automatically completed the game when they logged in. Oh, Jesus, dude. But yo, thanks, Soup. Thanks, buddy. We're aware that a number of players are currently experiencing an issue whereby upon logging into the game for the first time, they have full story completion. To resolve the issue, we'll be performing maintenance on the game servers. What'd I tell you, dude? Final beta testers. Bro, what did I say? During this time, the game will be unavailable. We expect this to take several hours and we'll update once we have more information. Final beta testers, dude. God dang, bro. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. Oh, man. I mean, come on, man. Yo, Soup, thanks for this, dude. Thank you. That's flipping great, dude. All right, dude. Dudes and dudesettes, we'll keep pushing it. What's this one? 11 video games releasing in February that you shouldn't miss. Oh, give me a break, dude. I'm not gonna totally agree with this. Yeah. All right, we already know what this is. To be fair, nobody can play it right now, so. Oh, god dang it, dude. Yeah, so I'm just gonna skim this, and then I'm not gonna like watch all these trailers or anything. I'll let you guys look at the one. Most of us have seen most of these games and everything, I'm sure. But Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, lots of hype, dude. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, broken already. Persona 3 Reloaded, yeah, yep. Pacific Drive, dude. I'm super psyched about this game. This game looks awesome. I'm not gonna play it right now. Suicide Squad Kill the Servers League. Perfect, bro. Bro. Nice. So, we're probably going to be playing this during Scaretober, man. This game looks dope. It's super cool. It's got like an eerie vibe to it. Supernatural crap happening. You gotta like keep your car built up and repaired and stuff through these stations as you're driving. I mean, it looks really wild. Skull and Bones. I highly recommend people do not buy into this game on release or pre-order. This game is releasing in February. It had such a tumultuous, long development process with an incredible number of delays and setbacks and issues. And do yourselves a favor. Save yourselves a little bit of buyer's remorse, a little bit of grief on the back end, and just wait and see what people are saying about this game before you buy into it. This is a promotional flippin' 11 games you shouldn't miss thing, dude. I cannot stress enough. Be careful with Skull and Bones. The premise of this game is dope, but the execution I have worries about. This is Ubi. And there have been just way too many red flags about this game. Wait until it comes out, see what reviews say before you decide to spend money on this game. Banishers, Ghost of New Eden. This game looks pretty dope. It really does. Brothers: The Tale of Two Sons remake. This game originally was an absolute banger. I watched my kids play this game together, and it's cool to see that they're remaking this game. Very, very cool. Helldivers 2. You know, I'm interested in seeing how this game's going to be. A documentary about why it took 8 years. Are you serious? Oh my god. Oh Jesus. No, I didn't know that. Probably won't watch it either, but it'll be interesting to get like a synopsis, you know, get the cliff notes, if you will, about what they said, what they say. Here's the thing. If they're going to come out with a documentary about why it took 8 years, and it's actually a documentary being done by Ubi themselves, you know that you're not going to get the whole truth. That's the thing you have to be prepared for. You're not going to get the whole truth, dude. They're not going to tell you everything about what a mess that project was. Right? So, be prepared for that. You're not going to get the whole scoop if this is a documentary being done by the company that's also making the game. You got to know that. Helldivers 2 does look pretty sick, dude. Helldivers 1 was more of like a, 3/4 top-down multiplayer game. This one's become a third-person game, and it looks pretty cool. I mean, the thing that's funny is every time I see a trailer, every single one of the players looks like a version of Boba Fett, you know? It looks like it's just a bunch of Boba Fetts running around killing everything, which is dope. We'll watch this one real quick if you haven't seen this.
Attention, citizens. The tide of war is turning against us. As we battle against the bugs for democracy, the automaton threat grows more menacing by the day. We need valiant soldiers to infiltrate their planets, take on these deadly robotic hordes, and spread our message of peace and democracy. Use the galaxy's most advanced weaponry.
Slaughtering Terminators and flipping
Fight alongside a squad worth dying for.
walkers.
And bring democracy to the universe.
It's got like Warhammer
Once and for
enemies. It's got Terminator enemies. It's got Star Wars enemies. This is
Join
weird.
the Helldivers. Join the fight for freedom. Enlist today.
I wonder if this is going to be any good. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Yeah, Starship Troopers, bit of some Starship Troopers in there too. I see that, dude. Yeah. One of their other trailers shows like a big bug you're fighting and stuff. Oh, could you really? Yeah, I'm guessing there is an amount of friendly fire in it. Nightingale looks really cool too. I think that a lot of what this game is going, because this is the Nightingale game is something with a bit of a different premise to it than we've really seen in a lot of games. And whether or not this game is going to be good really hinges on, how they follow through with the implementation of a lot of what's going on in this game, right? If you don't know what Nightingale is about, this is a game where you're basically creating portals to go check out different worlds. You create these portals, you go to different worlds, and the worlds could be populated with peacefulness. They could be populated with absolute anarchy and anything in between. But every world has things that you'll need from it, resources, you name it. And it's a base building survival type of game. Obviously, it's got a fantasy sci-fi kind of aspect to it, right? But it looks very cool. The premise is very cool. It's multiplayer. It's intriguing, man, but I don't know. It can be very, very good. It can also be very lackluster, depending on how they get this done.
Sequestered, struck by woe and lacking supplies, the question becomes:
No Nightingale already looks freaky.
Wilt thou be a survivor?
I'm getting you in here on this, Ferret.
Regardless of which portal variety you favor, realm cards will be necessary.
Yeah. It's gonna. I think there's gonna be some dark, ominous places and sections and stuff like that, but it's not like just a horror thriller vibe game or whatever. You know what I mean? Every world again is gonna have its own kind of vibe to it. And if you saw the cards, right? The cards, you'll have different cards that you can put together to try and craft different kinds of worlds. It's kind of it. So your goal: become a skilled realm walker, navigate the web of trans-dimensional portals. Only then can you discover your way to the magical city of Nightingale, last known bastion of humanity. It looks pretty cool. Hot soup. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, as well as Ultros. This is that really wildly, very, very just in your face colored like kind of platforming game. Honorable mentions: Foam Stars. Do not buy this game. This game is full of AI from Square Enix. People should not play. I think this is free to play actually, but people just should not even contribute as a player base to this game. Foam Stars can get wrecked. Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Sons of the Forest. Woo-wee. Open Roads, Tomb Raider 1, 2, 3, and remastered. Star Wars Dark Forces remastered. The Thaumaturge looks very cool as well. Jujutsu Kaisen, Cursed Clash, and Atomic Heart, Trapped in Limbo. The game we were just talking about earlier. Very cool. If you want to see the rest of them, here you go. A bunch of people are interested in Grand Blue Fantasy. Is this it? Let me see this. We'll watch it real quick. I think I've seen it before. There are a bunch of other Grand Blue games, but I've never played any of them. At least I think there are, right? Oh, really?
It's time.
Nice. Seems good. Oh, let's go, dude. That's the hype right there. Random mode. Can't win if you don't play, baby. Try to get a free sub. What up, Sank? There you go, Soup. What's up, Sank? What's going on, buddy? Happy Monday, bro. Yeah, that looks pretty good, dude. That looks cool. Yeah, 4-player co-op and stuff. That's neat, dude. That's neat. What it do, bruh? All right, Square Enix's vision of Monica becoming the Game Pass. The game is set for release this year. Right. The game's website explicitly refers to the Game Pass, despite the fact the game has yet to be confirmed for Microsoft's subscription service. But this game was showcased during the Xbox Direct Developer Direct showcase, right? So it's probably a good indicator that it's coming to Game Pass. Right. Yeah, that's about all we need to know there. Next Metro title is a single-player VR game. It's claimed. Struggling against the food coma? Bro. Man. My wife made lasagna last night. I was done, dude. I ate like 2 big old full plates of lasagna. It was over, dude. Lasagna is like my second favorite thing to eat ever. Behind steak. I just plowed a bunch of lasagna and I was done, dude. So I feel that food coma thing, dog. Bro, I was out, son. Just done. Yeah, what you been eating, dude? Next Metro single-player VR game, it's claimed. Let's see. Metro stood relatively silent as a series since the release of Exodus in 2019. Legendary post-apocalyptic franchise has given the likes of Fallout a run for its money since debuting back in 2010, but in recent years, fans have been wondering what could be next in the franchise. Months ago, we exclusively revealed that the new big Metro game was in a playable state and offered up some details about the story, how it all begins. However, recent claims have suggested this next game will be a single-player VR project called Metro Awakening. It's due to be revealed in the coming days. It could be the reveal that fans certainly haven't been waiting for. There were claims circulating a while ago that the next Metro game would be an open-world multiplayer title. The latest rumors are suggesting it's going to be revealed in an intense, horrifying VR game. Nice! It was said that the game starts the player off in a dream sequence where you'll then wake up at your base of operations. On Twitter, user Kurikasis claimed that the title for the next game is Metro Awakening, a name that would gel almost perfectly with the impression that we're given about the story. Given the choice between a VR game, which many are suspecting could be PSVR 2 exclusive, and an open-world post-apocalyptic title, we know which option the series fans would lean towards. It's a hard thing to wait for almost 5 years for news about a new game, only to learn that what's coming addresses a niche market that's still evolving. Yeah. Could there be 2 Metro titles in development in parallel? That's not a far-fetched claim. Reached out to 4A Games for more info. Interesting. This is the thing, though. These types of titles play very well for VR because the immersion is just stupid. VR is definitely a niche market, though. And there are a lot of people that haven't really bought into VR yet. And for people that Haven't bought into VR yet, and are a big fan of the Metro series. That can be a bit off-putting, you know. But I can see why, you know, the developer would maybe want to pivot into VR titles, because the immersion is incredible for a game set in this kind of environment. And you know, we'll see what comes. Favorite foods? Oh yeah, kalbi or bulgogi, yeah, with rice, yeah. Steak's by far my favorite. Nothing compares to just a medium rare steak, dude. Cracked pepper, sea salt, it's all it needs. Nothing compares for me. I don't know. But lasagna, the things that would come close are like lasagna. I love lasagna. A nice like piece of salmon, nice salmon, like a pecan or a pistachio crusted piece of salmon, something like that. I love sushi too, dude. I love sushi. Sushi's fantastic. Plow some sushi, dog. All the sushis, all of it. All the different kinds of sushis, dude. I'll plow all the sushis. No sauce. No sauce on a steak, dude. No. No kind of condiment on a steak. Absolutely not. That takes away from the taste of the meat. Yeah, if somebody needs sauce on a steak, it's because it was cooked improperly, in my opinion, as well. Yeah. Absolutely not. No.
Unacceptable!
That's actually like just sinful, dude. Putting sauce on a flippin' steak. To a flippin' steak, dude? No, because the meat itself just you're all you're doing is covering up the flavor of the steak, bro. You're covering up the flavor of a steak, of the meat. You're covering the flavor up. No. I love condiments, dude. I love spicy mayo, all that kind of stuff. But for a steak, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You get that bad boy to room temperature. While it's getting to room temperature, you go ahead and put some like sea salt, cracked black pepper, coat it. You know what I mean? The outside of that steak. Then, brother, you throw that thing into a hot iron skillet for a couple of minutes. Get a nice, you know what I mean? Brown it up. Throw it in the oven for another minute and a half. Done. Doesn't need anything else. Get that nice medium rare on it. No sauce at all. The taste of the meat is where it's at. You don't cover the taste of that meat up, dude. No way. Medium well. I respect people like preferring their steaks to be cooked or to different in different ways, right? Different levels of wellness. And so yeah, I like my medium rare, dude. I've always have. You know, a lot of people will look at me eating a steak medium rare and be like, that's undercooked. I'm like, nah, that's just right. You know, that's just right. But yeah, I like mine with a lot of pink in it, dude. A lot of pink. You know, I've eaten them like that too. I would prefer mine more on the undone side than the overcooked side. I'll tell you that. Yeah, I'd prefer mine more on the undone side than the overcooked side. Well, the well done side. Yeah, Absolutely. No doubt about it. What if a steak had crab meat inside of it? That sounds perfect, dude. Yeah, that'll work. I don't know. Surf and turf to the max, I guess, dude. Yeah, surf and turf to the max. I don't know. I love crab meat. Crab's really good. I love a lot of seafood. I love oysters, you know. Shrimp. I love shrimp, dude. Give me just shrimp cocktail, dog. Some like shrimp with cocktail sauce. Oh my god, dude. I love that so much. I've loved it since I was a little kid too. My mom occasionally, me and my mom would sit there and just like on a very rare occasion, my mom would get us some shrimp because we didn't have a lot of money to buy stuff like that with. But my mom loves shrimp too. So every once in a while, my sisters wouldn't eat stuff like that. Only me. So so we would every great once in a while, you know, get some just chilled shrimp and just sit there and eat them with like cocktail sauce and stuff. God dang it, dude. I will plow a lot of shrimp, dude, with some cocktail sauce. Not a big seafood guy. God, I love it, dude. I love it. Just no eating octopus, okay? You guys leave those tentacles alone, bro. You know? Was that 130 purchase worth it for Suicide Squad? Probably not, dude. I don't know. Everything's going to be relative to each individual's personal experience with the product, though, you know. So you'll have to tell me, Soup. You'll have to tell me. Exactly. Yeah. Suicide Squad, kill the server league. Yeah. All right, last article I have, guys. If you're getting me talking about food, I'm getting all hungry, man. I gotta get some breakfast. If you guys have anything else to add to the video gaming news segment this morning, let me know, and we'll address it before we move on and play Pal World for the rest of the day, baby. I'm ready to get in there and play some more Pal World. No, it was Syke, dude. Syke's the one that started talking about the food coma. I just fed off of Syke. Syke's fault. Syke's fault. Syke's fault, not mine. Yeah, I brought up lasagna, but Syke is the one that started talking about food coma. Blame Syke. Yeah, I know, dude. That's what I said. But food coma is segue into talking about food. I didn't just bring lasagna up out of thin air, you know. Syke's fault. We're blaming Syke. Oh, commas. I thought he said food coma. Wait, where's that at? Oh. Wait, what? Wait. Yeah, it was coma, dude.
And get up on your feet. I just wanna see you dance.
Syke's fault. Let's get into this.
Work your body to that beat.
Yeah, I see it now. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah. Hope you guys are doing well. And thanks for the awesome news segment so far. We're going to do this last article. If anybody has anything else to add that we haven't covered today or previously in the news stuff, let me know in chat. We'll address it before we move on and play games. Cool. So Final Fantasy VI Remake would take twice as long as Final Fantasy VII, says the producer. Now, games should offer more early access? What do you think? We know the product is finished. Why is it held back? There's an issue on both sides. I've talked about this, Soup. There's an issue on both sides. So early access can be a greatly beneficial thing to developers. It can also be something that is exploited by developers as well. Okay? So early access, there have been great examples of it being used very, very well. Take Larian and Baldur's Gate 3, for example. The game was in early access for what? Roughly 3 years? and they used it to its greatest potential in getting feedback from players, making the game to the what the fan base wanted, continuing to be able to give people a look at the game and provide feedback to be able to address issues, make the game to the preference of the greatest extent possible of what the fan base wanted, right? So it's a very good thing, right?
Just wanna see you dance.
And then there's the issue of games that hit early access that have been in early access for a decade. And it's like, when does it end? What you've got to have, this is the issue I have with early access. Talk about a game, there are plenty of games out there that have been in early access for ever. 7 Days to Die, It's like, bro, when does it not be early access? When is it actually going to be considered a full-fledged game, right? So there are issues on both sides. There's and it's not the only game that's ever done that. There's plenty. I mean, look at flipping. Just because it's not on Steam, this is a game. We talk about Star Citizen all the time. Star Citizen's a game that was supposed to release in 2014, dude. It's 10 years later. That game is still pushing out alpha content. Is it playable alpha content? Yeah, but it's still not a fully released game. So what is that? I mean, that's an early access game, right? And we're talking about a game that has raised $750 million at this point of crowdfunding money and is literally just early access for 10 years. So I think that, when you talk about like more games need to be in early access, I think that the early access part of the industry needs to be regulated more. It can be used very well. It can also be exploited by companies in large part. So whether or not you're talking about Steam or you're talking about any other platform that wants to introduce some kind of early access mechanic for developers to be able to utilize, I think it can be a great thing. It can be a great thing. But it also can be terribly exploited by developers, right? If launch day even comes, Cash, that's what I'm getting at. There have been so many games that have gone early access where launch, 10 years later, there's still not even launch day. There's still no full product, and that's not acceptable. If you've got something that is good enough, built enough, yeah, we already talked about that, dude. Yeah, I was laughing my ass off about that. Thanks, though, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, kind of hilarious. So I don't know. It's and for what you said, Fair, I think early access should come at an extra cost. In the really old days, you got paid to be beta testing. Well, here's the thing. When you take a look at it from a different perspective, Ferret, the people that paid to be in early access for something like Baldur's Gate 3, they got the full version of that game at a lower price point because they were willing to be a helpful part of the development process of that game. So that's winning, dude. The developer is paying back the people that are willing to get in there and play that game early by giving them the full product at a lower price point. What? What do you mean wasn't extra cost? But the price went up after it full released. So same thing with Pal World, right? Like Pal World has actually like basically told everybody on their early access page, like, this is the price point for now. This is the price point. Well, I'm trying to see what I was waiting to see what Ferret was getting at, because I don't know what he was getting at with that sentiment there while I was trying to I was waiting for him to reply, because I didn't quite understand where he was going at with that. So same thing with Pal World. Pal World is like what, $25, $26, something like that. And they said in early access that, you know, quite possibly on full release the game will end up being more expensive, right? So it isn't common, but seen games have an extra for early access because they sell in a different tier. You have the normal game. If you want early access, you pay extra. So, I mean, we're talking about two different things, though. You mean, are you talking about the difference between like a game that's actually put into an early access state, like you'll see on Steam, as opposed to like what Suicide Squad is of charging $30 more to get 3 days of early access to the game? I mean, is that what you're referring to? Okay, I got you then. Yeah. So maybe that's more what Soup was trying to refer to as well, right? Yeah. So I spoke about this earlier. And if that's what you were trying to get at, Soup, with the early access, because, yeah, I mean, it's important that we differentiate between the two differences between a game being put in an early access state for people to be able to, you know, get in there and play that game before it's fully finished, or, you know, a game being put into a different tiered price point for its products of being finished so that people can access. Dude, I went on a rant earlier today about this crap, right? I'm not a fan of it. I think it's stupid. You're a final beta tester. I said that earlier today about Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. You're a final beta tester for $30 more US, and look what happens. Final beta testers trying to get in and play the game early, servers are down. Final beta testers, you know what I mean? So, well, I mean, this is if a game's done and done, then everybody should just be able to access it when you buy the game, if it's done and done. This is the problem, Soup, right? So this is something the industry has set up to do to us as consumers for a long time. And it's exacerbated by the issue of people continuing to buy into this kind of product promotion, right? So that's what this is. This is what I was talking about earlier. So they want to act like it's totally finished and ready for people to play, right? And they're going, oh, well, if you pay $30 more, you can pay it early. But how often does this happen? And this is why every time this mechanic comes up about you can pay more money for a deluxe version and get in and play 3 days early, I always call it you being a final beta tester, because there's always issues, right? And you're really not getting your money's worth anyways. What's the point in even getting in 3 days early for that much more money? It's asinine. It doesn't make sense. The whole mechanic just needs to be done away with. It's so stupid. And again, it's only exacerbated by the fact that people still buy into it. It's something that's bit people in the ass for so long as consumers, man. For so long. Yeah, I guess, you know, to an extent, but, you know, as as a content creator, yeah. But here's the thing also. for me and the kind of person I am as also a content creator, there are a lot of content creators out there that won't actually give you the truth about what a product is. And so, you know, in my opinion, they'll tell you what the company wants you to hear, or you know, what they think, you know, the company wants you to hear and stuff like that. Not that all of them are that way. There are a lot of there are a good amount out there that will tell you, but I think a lot of them play towards trying to get in the good graces of you know, a lot of these scummy corporations and everything too, you know. And it's just like, even if a product's a hot bag of garbage, they're just going to feed you full of bull crap. But you're right. Yeah, as a content creator, being able to showcase a game early or whatever is something that is potentially going to benefit you. But at the same time, I would still rather see it all be done away with. No early access for anybody at all. Just do away with it. The game releases at the same time across the board for absolutely everybody. That means all content creators are on the same page of getting access to the game at the same exact time, along with game players. Whatever. You know what I mean? A, a, well, that's close to a different kind of word there. I do rant a lot. I rant a lot. Yeah. But there's a lot of scummy stuff in this industry that's worth ranting about too. So, I don't know. In my opinion anyways. It's this is these whole like the promotion and marketing side of the industry is so gross of how they build people up for the hype machine and everything, get people to buy into games that, you know, quite often, I mean, how many times have you guys been bit, you know? I know I'm not the only one. The rants are my brand. I mean, it's not even that like I've tried to be that way. It's just who I am. You know what I mean? It's just who I am. It's the passion for the industry. You know what I mean? And because there is so much crap to rant about, it's just what comes out, dude. Um, how many of us have been bit by the flipping the farcities, dude, that get thrown around with, you know, trailers not providing a true look at what you're getting into, and the way these companies, they put as much money into the marketing and promotion of these titles. They show you what you want, what they want you to see, not what you're actually buying into, whether it be performance or content or what have you, right? And then they also want to do scummy stuff like, you know, pay 30% more for 3 days early access. Come on, dude. Like, I hate seeing people buy into it. I really do. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do with their money, but I'll try to advise people not to, you know, feed into these kinds of mechanics, because quite often it's not worth it. It's just not. And it just exacerbates the issue that we all have to deal with on the daily for the industry anyways, you know. Cash. He's like the Jerry Seinfeld video. What's the deal with early access? You get the early, but not the access. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. I know the rants are my thing, dude. That's why I apologize for them all the time. But Jesus Christ, it's so malding, dude. I really hate it, you know. And you know, I truly like. I just want to promote a better industry for all of us as, you know, gaming enthusiasts and you know, firstly as consumers, man. I can't do the Seinfeld voice, bro. I can't do the Seinfeld voice. Uh, I don't think I can do it. I've never tried, man. Uh-uh. Um, so I don't know, man. I hate seeing people get burnt all the time by this kind of crap. You know, these companies do it on purpose. They've they've got entire huge divisions dedicated to basically scamming people. You know, it's crazy. Dude, I can't do this. And the speech pattern, yeah, I can't do it, dude. I don't. Here's the problem. I don't know Seinfeld that well. That's the thing. I didn't even ever watch Seinfeld that much, dude. So me trying to do Jerry Seinfeld would be really tough because I never watched much Seinfeld, and so it'd be a hard thing for me to even like mentally hear in my head or picture, you know. Yeah, I didn't dive into Seinfeld that much, so I mean, I can hear a little bit of it in my head. It's just I didn't get exposed to very much of it, so that's the hard thing for me, you know. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I get that. I mean, I know Seinfeld. I know Jerry Seinfeld, but it's I think a harder thing when you didn't ever get exposed to much of him either, you know. So, I don't know. If that means you got to bounce, dudes, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. I don't have a good impression of Jerry Seinfeld. Let's finish this up. So yeah, sorry if I took that, I think, statement from the early access kind of the wrong way, but it's important to differentiate between the two, you know, what early access is as a method of releasing a game as opposed to, you know, giving people early access to a title that is actually being released in full, right? What's that? What's that, Cash? Let's see this. Dude, I don't know what I'm going to do without hockey for a week. I'm struggling. Oh, by the way, what the crap was up with the NFL games yesterday, dude? I don't want to know that, dude. Oh, no, bro. God dang it. Oh, my God. Cash, dude. Man, that's going to ruin that for me now, I think. Jesus. Now I need to listen to Mr. Brightside today. That's going to be weird now. That's going to make that weird. All right, let's finish this up, dude. Yeah. Nice, dude. Yeah. Oh, God dang it. That's weird. I'll have to listen to Mr. Brightside now and see how true that is, dude. That's funny, man. All right, dude. Final Fantasy VI Remake would take twice as long as Final Fantasy VII, says producer. Interestingly enough, you know, we've got Final Fantasy VII Remake, even though it's not like a true recounting of Final Fantasy VII, it's like an altered timeline kind of thing, right? But it's being brought out in 3 different games, and they're apparently saying Final Fantasy VI would be even longer, right? So, Katase acknowledges internal calls for the company to remake the classic entry. I mean, it's a banger, dude, right? It's a banger. But what an interesting, you know, premise for them to remake this title, yeah? What a great game, dude. I always loved these pieces of artwork, too. They were so good. Calls for a Final Fantasy VI Remake are difficult to respond to, the series brand manager has said. Hold on. There we go. Because he believes such a project would take roughly twice as long as it has to remake Final Fantasy VII. Speaking during an interview with French YouTuber Julien Chies, Final Fantasy VII Remake producer Yoshinori Kitase was asked to elaborate on his previous comments regarding demand for the Final Fantasy VI Remake. According to Kitase, translated by Shinra Archaeology Department, Final Fantasy VII Up to Rebirth has taken around 10 years to remake. And if Square Enix was to tackle FF6, he believes it could take double that. Kitase said the game would be bigger than Final Fantasy VII's remake project because of the number of characters in the game. He said there are a lot of people inside the company who want to remake the game, but unfortunately can't respond, which bums him out. FF6 was originally released on the Super Nintendo in 1994 before being ported to the PlayStation in 1999 and the Game Boy Advance in 2006. More recently, it was included as part of the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster Collection, alongside remastered versions of Final Fantasy 1 through 5. Speaking during a roundtable discussion last year, Final Fantasy creator Hironobu Sakaguchi explained that a remake of Final Fantasy VI would be harder to do because as a 2D game, it would be more work to change the story and reimagine the game as a 3D experience. If reports are to be believed, a Final Fantasy IX remake is more likely than a Final Fantasy VI one. No! Last year, Giant Bomb reporter Jeff Grubb claimed, "I will say I heard it very recently once again, Final Fantasy IX remake is real. That is real and happening." Gamatsu subsequently reported that Final Fantasy IX remake is currently in development too. Think the Pixel remaster is good enough, Cash? AI will speed up development, so it's fine. Soup, as terrible as it is to hear that, you're probably right. Because this is Square Enix. And Square Enix is adamantly, openly, all about using AI right now. And not in ethical ways either. Unfortunately. As we're seeing with the game that they're releasing right now. Now, here's the only thing that might keep them from doing it in a game like Final Fantasy VI Remake is because getting backlash from a fan base because look, the community of gamers, us collectively, are pretty adamantly against AI being incorporated in games, right? If it's done ethically, it's a more acceptable practice, but most of these big corporations aren't doing it ethically, right? And if there was even a remote chance that they did AI unethically in a game like Final Fantasy VI Remake, the gaming community would go absolutely nuts on Square. That's the only thing that might keep them from doing AI on it. Yeah, fair. That's exactly what I was thinking, and that's what they touched on too. The 2D to 3D would be the hardest part, no doubt. Yeah. But, dude, seeing that world and those characters be brought to a 3D world and like Unreal Engine 5 or something, god dang, it'd be so dope, bro. Woo! That's a cool cool premise to think about, right? Yeah, I know, Cash. If they remake the same way they're making 7, then the character development is tremendous, yeah. Oh, it would be awesome, but dude, what an undertaking, right? See, I haven't even seen the Pixel remaster. Is it pretty solid? Because I've got like I've got the PS version. I wish I had the original Super Nintendo version, but I have to play the old PlayStation version in the, what is it, like the anthology or whatever. I've got that one, so to play on the PS3 and stuff. Really? Dude, I have Final Fantasy 1 cartridge for regular Nintendo somewhere around here. Yeah, pretty crazy. Quality improvements on what it already was. Oh, that's cool, man. Well, Final Fantasy 1 kind of already was done, you know? Yeah, we talked about that fair. My best friend still has his too. Yeah, dude. Yeah. I never owned it. I didn't have enough money to buy it. I was always borrowing it from friends, dude. I was always borrowing Final Fantasy 3 from all my friends. I was like, please don't save over my file, dude. Please don't save over my file. Grass cutting money. Yeah. Final Fantasy 1 was kind of what was the name of the one they did not too long ago, and they were like, well, this is basically our Final Fantasy 1 brought to modern times. What do they call that one? Origins. There you go. Yeah, thanks, Cash. Yeah, so Soup, Final Fantasy 1 is kind of already done. Strangers of Paradise. There you go. Yep. Thanks, Cash. That's what I was looking for. So, Strangers of Paradise is basically what they said Final Fantasy 1 is for them as a modern game. Final Fantasy 1 was incredible. by the way. The original is so cool, dude. If you've never played it, it's an incredible game. You start off with, like, you know, getting to create your party of, it's I mean, obviously very old turn-based RPG. You get to pick between starting a party of different kinds of classes, like red mage, black mage, fighter, thief. Red mage I think is in there too. What else was in there? But they all start off as like kids. You get to name them and stuff, and then you go on these, you know, you just go traveling around the world doing missions and you know, going through the storyline and stuff. And halfway through the game, dude, they turn into adults and stuff. It's dope, dude. It's dope. Oh, really? Oh, white mage. There you go. Black mage and white mage. Was there not a red mage in there? It was later games. I thought red mage was part of Final Fantasy 1. It's been so long though, dude. Interesting. Yeah. Dude, you could be right, Cash. It's been so long for me, dude. But it's a dope game, dude. That game is so sick. Game's so sick, dude. Yeah. Just white mages? Oh, dude, that sounds incredibly difficult, dude. That sounds so bad. I remember playing the game. I mean, the game back in the day felt hard. And just white mages sounds terrible. That sounds terrible, dude. Yeah. Awesome, man. Great news segment, guys. I appreciate it. Lots of good, you know, good ways for us to talk about these different things we deal with and you know, different viewpoints and stuff. And I always appreciate that very much. I know I rant a lot, dude. And I know that I'm a broken record a lot and everything too, but if it wasn't important to me, you know, this industry that we're all so passionate about, if the industry, you know, if I wasn't so worried about the health of it for us as the lovers of video games and us as the consumers and what's being pushed upon us as far as the way the businesses are addressing us as consumers and stuff, yeah, dude, I wouldn't be like this about it, you know what I mean? Oh, nice, Cash. Thanks, dude. Thanks. So I know that sometimes I can get a little bit ranty about stuff and maybe take things to an extreme when I address some of these issues, but it's just passion, dude. I just want things to be better for us, and that's where all this comes from. It comes from a place of love and passion for what video games are and for the way I feel like we should be treated as the ones that really this industry wouldn't be what it is without us as being the foundation for what these companies have become. You know, they wouldn't be anything without us. Therefore, you know, I think it's appropriate that we try to raise, I guess, awareness about how we can try to evolve the industry into a healthier place for us, you know, as consumers and video game lovers, you know. So I don't know. I do apologize for, you know, if the ranting gets old and stuff like that, but just know it's from a place of love and passion for video games and everything like that. But oh yeah, they upgrade to the Knight, Ninja, Masters, Wizards. Yeah. Fighter, Thief, Monk was the one I forgot. Yeah, and the 3 mages. Monk was the one I forgot. Yeah. Love video games? Only if they're hard, dude, you know. Not really, but so I don't know, man. Great news segment. I appreciate it, guys. We're gonna go play some Pal World for the rest of the day, baby. You guys rock. Thanks for being the amazing people you are, being a part of what we do. I appreciate it very much. If anybody's been able to hang out, you're not familiar with what our community is about. We always start all of our streams off 6 days a week. No Wednesday streams. But every other day, we're live at roughly 6 a.m. CST CDT. We begin with video gaming news, like we're wrapping up right now. Again, it's about trying to stay current on what's happening in the industry, as well as promoting a healthier industry for us all the way around as consumers and video game lovers, man, and enthusiasts. Other than that, it's, you know, we finish that up. We go play video games for the rest of the day. I try to make sure that most of our content that we've done, whether it be the news stuff, the video game playthroughs, funny clips and highlights, all that stuff, is on the Twitch channel and the YouTube channel and playlist, so you can check out all the previous content. And if you're enjoying what we do here, I would prompt you to just continue to come be a part of it when we are live. We got amazing people that are part of what we do all the time, and you know, we just try to have a community here that's centered around being wholesome, dude, taking care of one another. Obviously, video games is what brings us together. We all love video games, but trying to create a space where everybody can feel welcome and treated the right way. Yeah, be civil about things, and you know, while also having a great time. We have a lot of laughs and things like that, but just being void of toxicity and negativity and stuff is an important thing, I think. So if you can dig that, come be a part of what we do when we are live, man. We're always looking for more good people to be a part of what our community is. So other than that, man, stay healthy, stay safe, be kind. Happy Monday. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I hope your week's kicking off the right way. And we're going to go play some Pal World for the rest of the day, but we'll be back with more video gaming news tomorrow morning on January 30th. So I'm going to run us a bit of an outro here to sum up the news segment, but as soon as it's over, I will be right back up here on the screen, and we will start playing Pal World, you legends. Happy Monday. I'll be right back.